We're in Atlanta and it's morning and I still have all my crust in the eye, so forgive me. But I wanted to share this journey with you guys because I thought maybe it would be useful for someone. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I went to school, and like school gives you weight. I don't know what it does, but right at the end, poof, I gained weight. Probably because I was stressed out, let's be honest. So I decided to start working out and going to the gym, eating better and all that. So I've been doing that for a few weeks and I'm seeing some results. Let's be honest. I'm seeing some results, but it seems like 10 years ago, I saw results way faster. So I was doing some reading yesterday and I realized that I was working out the wrong way. So you guys are going to kind of be my accountability partner here, because now I'm changing my strategy and I'm doing less. I know it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but let's test it out because I don't have anything to lose except for my cortisol belly. So the goal is to see if I do less exercise and more protein. The goal is to see if that helps me on my fat loss journey. And I'm going to even call it helps me lose my cortisol, baby. Because I have been doing for 2 weeks, I have been doing kind of the same regimen, exercise about 6 days a week, weight training about 6 days a week, not getting enough rest days, all that kind of good stuff. And it's just not working. It's not working. When I was younger, I would have already been at my goal. So I'm trying to understand this thing. And I realized that I'm stressing my body out because, so the last 2 days, obviously it rained. So look at the tree down in my neighborhood. That's my neighborhood and that's the tree. So isn't that cool? But kind of crazy. And I gotta show you guys my tree because my tree never went down. And it's freaking 20 years old. Hey everybody, welcome. So I wanted to share some, this is way not my style, but I wanted to show you guys this because if this works, then this will be the single most important thing outside of Jesus you'll ever know about. So, like I said, I just woke up, so forgive me. Airplanes are gonna go across my head, which is why I want to get back to Dallas. It's so noisy in Atlanta. So yeah, I'm on a weight loss journey, and it's not so much of I care about weight. I care about the fat content, the amount of fat, and I care specifically about my cortisol baby, and my cortisol baby, it means you can't really see here. It's hard to show you, but why is that doing? Hold on. Okay. You can kind of see that's a cortisol belly. So you can't really tell. That's a cortisol belly. And I want to get rid of that. And that's a new thing. That's a new thing. So I think there's a combination of not just bad eating habits, which I fixed my eating habits. Those are bad habits are gone. But I think there's a stress that's happening in my body, and it's not liking, how do I describe it? It's not liking how much effort I'm putting in. So it's almost you know what, just put in less effort, try that and go from there. So I was feeling, which is interesting, the last 2 days, you can see obviously it's rained, the weather's not great over here. Actually, I love it because it's not too hot. But the weather hasn't been great. So the last 2 days, it's rained and been really rained the whole day. And on the 2 days that it rained, I was you know what? My body was already saying to me, you need a break. You've been going too hard. Just take a break. My body was saying, what's 2 days? So what day was it? I think it was, I'm not sure what day it was. But one of those 3 days I went to dinner, which was a bad move. Let's be honest. That was kind of a bad move, but you only live once. One of those days I went to dinner, but I skipped my gym. And I did it like for 2 days. I just didn't do my regular routine. Like I could have. And psychologically, I'm the kind of person, if I say I'm going to do something, I can do it. So it's not that I couldn't do it. You guys know what I'm saying? My body was truly feeling like, girl, give yourself a little break time. Okay. So anywho, I say all that to say, I think it's important to listen to your body. And my body was just like, girl, we need a little break time. And then as I started researching what I'm doing, because it really did make sense. Literally, when I initially started this journey, I wasn't weighing myself at all. And that's typical of me. Just FYI, it's typical of me. Like, I don't want to get too far into the whole, like, did you lose pounds this week? Did you not? Like, I don't like to get too far into that. I just put on my clothes. I can look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, you're doing better. Or I'm like, you didn't get enough progress. I kind of generally am that way. Until I get to like a safe zone where I'm like, hey, I know I've made progress. Now let me look at the weight. So I will say this. I kind of know that I just kind of know how I look in the mirror. And so I was like, okay, I know I made some, over the past couple of months, I know I made some progress. I do know I made progress. But as of the last 2 weeks, once I made enough progress, then I started weighing myself. Because I was like, okay, now we can look and just see how things are going. And the last 2 weeks is when I plateaued. And guys, I was doing like 2 hours of walking a day. It's for 6 days a week. I was going to the gym. 6 days a week. And yeah, it just wasn't doing anything. Like I looked in the mirror and I'm like, well, I know I'm getting stronger. That's a win. I knew that, like, I felt like I was lifting a little bit more over time, or feeling like the weights were starting to get easier, and not really lifting more, but the weights were getting a little easier over time. So I was like, no, I'm getting stronger. That's a good thing, because my upper body strength is pretty weak. And it has been for a long time. I've known that for a long time. I've been needing to like go lift weights. So I was like, okay, my upper body is getting stronger. That's a win. However, I was like, I think the scale is not changing at all. Now, my clothes are fitting differently and better. That's a win. But it's been a while and I haven't seen any change. And like I said, 10 years ago, I used to teach dance all the time. So, if we had a show or something, I had to be able to get in shape really fast. What I've observed is the gains that I used to make in the past, they're not coming as quickly now. And I'm like, so that's what actually kicked it off. I was like, wait a second. You mean to tell me I'm doing doing what I normally used to do, and I'm not at my goal? Like, I know that by now I should be at goal. So I was like, okay, let me try to figure out what's going on, because my body also just felt stressed. Like in the morning, I felt like, and let's be honest, I'm not really a morning person, but in the morning I felt like I needed someone to kick me out of bed to start my walk and all that. And so what I was doing before is I was doing intermittent fasting, and I was starting my walk in the morning on a completely dry fasted state, and I wouldn't eat anything until noon. And so, but I was feeling the last 2 days instinctively to like, just, I don't know, be good to myself. I was feeling that feeling, and heart's desperately wicked. Who can know it? So I didn't want to fully trust that. So I started researching, but I instinctively felt I need to like take a little bit of a break. And then I was like, it's raining. And I'm the person, like, when I'm in my routine, I will go walk in the rain. That's just water. It's not a big deal. So water makes no difference to me. I will still get my gym time in, or whatever I need to do. I'll still get it done. it makes no difference the weather. So the weather wasn't really an issue. It was just that I felt like I need to give myself a break. So in doing that, I started doing research yesterday, and I realized that I came across information from this book, like the 4-hour, something like it's the 4-hour body. And basically they recommend a 30-30-30 method, which is 30 minutes of protein as soon as you wake up, and then 30 minutes of walking. And I forgot what the other 30's for because I haven't read the book. I just kind of like looked at information about it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense with how I felt. The rationale that the man stated, I think his name is Tim something. So yeah, go look for that book. Probably it's a good one. I can't fully recommend it, but I'm going to try his stuff, even though I haven't read the book. So I was feeling like too tired to work out in the morning. You know, some days I do my 2-hour walk, and on the walk itself, I would be like ready to eat and kind of famished. And I just stick out till like noon and then finally eat. So I'm trying something new. And now firstly, it was really hard for me to get my full protein levels in. I need around like 100 grams a day. And I was like pretty much not vegetarian, but really I had a low protein diet before. So, hey everybody, welcome. Go ahead and hit the like button and share button. Hey there, hi Top, welcome. So I want to talk to you guys about my weight loss journey, like my fitness journey, because I've got this like little issue. I'm going to call it a cortisol belly. I'm trying to show you. I've got like a cortisol belly. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's not my belly. It's something different. It's something new. It's something new that I've got to get rid of. So a lot of people won't understand it, but some people will. And I have been on a fitness journey since I graduated from college, which was May, right? So I started in May, and I noticed, I've like gotten fit and in shape several times over my life from being a dance instructor. So I'm not teaching dance right now. So like May, June, July, August, shucks, y'all, it's been 3 months. Normally I'm at goal by now. Yeah, I'm normally at goal. 3 months later, I'm at goal. And this time, it is a struggle bus, guys. It is a struggle bus. And I'm sorry that like I'm crusting my eye fresh in the morning, but whatever. You know, we don't wake up all gorgeous. We wake up like this. We wake up like this and we put glasses on and that's it. So the struggle bus is that I normally would have gotten to my goal by now. And I'm observing like at 2 months, I wasn't nearly making the progress. I noticed it at 2 months. And then I started upping my exercise because like at 2 months, I would have made significant progress. Like really and truly, my body would have looked totally different 2 months later. That's my norm. I don't know about y'all, but I know my body because I'm a dance instructor. A lot of times I've had to lose weight for a show, things like that too. I know how long it takes me to get to my goal usually. And I know 2 months is usually enough time. But in this case, it kind of hasn't been. And so I was going for May and June. And nothing really, like, I know I shrunk, right? I know that things were getting better. But come mid-July, I was like, well, yes, things have gotten better. I hadn't been weighing myself, but I know anecdotally that everything was improving. Everybody go ahead and like the stream really quick because I'm telling you guys about my personal stuff. This is my real stuff, y'all. My fitness journey is my real thing. It's honestly, that's about as transparent as one can get. So it was like mid-July that I just kind of like was like, wait, I should be at goal and I'm not even. Like, do I look better? Yes. But I was like, but I'm not at goal. And normally I'm at goal. It's like, if I started in May, June, July, I was like, it's been at least 6 weeks. Why am I not where I need to be? And so I started paying attention then. So all of May, all of June, and then No, I'm sorry. Yeah, all of May, all of June, and then half of July. Initially, I was just doing weight training. Isn't it nice outside, y'all? It feels so good out here. Initially, I was just doing weight training. And so when I realized that, okay, I'm not getting to goal, I was like, okay, let me add the walking back, because I used to just always do cardio and never do weight training and always get to goal with cardio only. So I was like, okay, I'm over here trying something new. Probably I'm bulking up is what I said. I said, I'm probably bulking up and I'm not like leaning out. So I was like, okay, let me go back to what I normally do, but keep the weight training, because, you know, as you get older, you need the weight training for your bones. It's a whole health thing. So I started going back to my cardio meaning nothing major. Like, I'm not going to be sweating to the old days. Come on, y'all. So cardio meaning like I'm going to go back to doing my walks. So over here, I'm doing my walk, and I started out like the first day, I just walked for like 10 minutes because I'm like, oh God, I'm not used to this. And then the next day, I walked for like 30 minutes or something. After that, I walked for like an hour. And then I've been at 2 hours of walk every day ever since. So it took me a minute to get back in the frame of mind to do a walk every day. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can do a walk. So I was doing a 2-hour walk plus doing the gym, and literally was sucking all my time dry. Like, I couldn't do video edits. I couldn't go live. I couldn't do anything. So basically my whole life became work and workout. And like, if my fitness goals were not done, then nothing else, like, it was fine. All right. So now that we know that, so when I really realized that, oh man, I'm not really getting a goal, like it's not happening the way I want it to happen, then I'm like, okay, what do I need to change? Because the last couple of days I felt really drained and tired. I felt like I needed to change it up and just rest. So it was raining a lot. You know, trees have been falling down out here. So I went ahead and just said, okay, let me just rest a little bit. So I've been kind of in rest mode for like, I rested for like 2 days. And anyways, it rained the whole day anyway. So I was like, I'm just not getting rained on. And I did some research. And when I did my research, I realized that there's like a 30-30-30 method, and I've never tried it in my life. So this would be the first time I'm trying something crazy new. Normally, I cardio my way to my leanness. When I get lean enough, if I want more bulk, then I'll like lift weights then. But I generally never lift weights first while I'm not at my ideal body weight, because I don't want to get heavy. Like, I don't want to be solid looking or masculine looking. But this time I did it the opposite way. I lifted weights and I wasn't doing my cardio. I started seeing that bulky look, which I don't really prefer for myself. And then I'm like, and I was slimming down, but I wasn't hitting the goals that I wanted, not at the time frame. So I'm like, okay, let me revise the whole thing. When I started reading about the 30-30-30 method, I realized that my body is, how do I describe it? I realized that probably my body is aggravated because it wasn't getting enough protein, and I was trying, but I just wasn't getting enough protein. So I've been working on the last week, getting my protein up better. And yesterday is really the first day that I got my protein up to the 100 grams properly. It's the first day that I actually managed it. It's been very hard getting my protein up. That's been a whole journey. So my protein is now up to optimal levels. That's good, because what that means is I should be keeping my lean muscle mass and then able to focus on shredding fat. If you don't have enough protein, it's going to be harder to shred the fat, and you're going to be shredding your muscle, and it's going to be, it's just going to be a back and forth game. You're going to be shredding muscle, gaining muscle, shredding muscle, gaining muscle. So I was like, okay, so I was doing some reading on this yesterday. And like I said, I'm going to test it out. This is not something I normally would try. Not like it's not like a legacy thing that I know works for me. But I'm going to try it because some of the experts say that it's a good idea. And I noticed that I've got a specific body area that I'm working on, which is my belly fat. That's I call it my little cortisol belly. Now, If you look, you're gonna be like, oh, she's not fat. Yeah, I didn't say I was fat. I just had a cortisol belly. Like, I didn't have one of those before. So I've got to get rid of that thing. So that cortisol belly has to go, because usually that's lean. While you guys are here, let me show you the tree that went down in the neighborhood. Look at that cool thing. That's wild. That's just absolutely wild. But yeah, so I'm working on that cortisol belly. And I'm hoping that this new method is going to work. So what I learned is that intermittent fasting has always done a good thing for me, right? I've learned that the intermittent fasting in the morning is probably horrible for my body, because I'm walking the 2 hours. I was walking the 2 hours early morning on an empty stomach, which used to work. The stuff like that used to work for me, but it's not working now. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And what I read is that my body is probably like stressed, because it's like, first of all, it's like, girl, it's morning. Do you realize that, right? And then it's like, you don't have any protein in the morning. Like, you're fasted. You're doing this fasted. So my body, it's shocking my body, and my body is getting to the point where it's like, we don't like this process. So I realized that I need to have the food and the fuel in my body in the morning. So I'm waking up now. I'm kicking myself out of bed differently. I kicked myself out of bed, and I had to think really hard yesterday. How am I going to get 30 grams? I need 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. And then I need a walk for 30 minutes. And I need to not walk for 2 hours. It's too much cardio. And it's killing my progress, and because it's stressing my body and probably increasing my cortisol. That's what I read yesterday. So it's like, I'm thinking I'm doing more, and I'm not getting any result, and I plateaued with weight loss. And I was trying to figure out, well, why have I plateaued? Shoot, I'm kicking my own tail, walking for 2 hours a day. Basically, I don't have time for anything. I don't have even time to call my friends back. I have 2 hours of walking in a day plus the gym. My whole day outside of work is fitness. So it's not until the weekend I can go live. I can't do anything. So you guys see me rusty and crusty, whatever. This is what she looks like when she wakes up, so it's perfectly fine by me. The thing is, if I could just figure out my body being overstressed, that would be a good thing. Does that make sense? And that's my goal right now, is to figure that part out. So what I'm going to do is I'm reducing the amount of cardio I was taking in every day. That's number one. So before I was doing like 2 hours a day. Now I'm going to reduce my cardio down, and I'm going to get the 30 minutes in the morning right after my 30 minutes of protein. So this morning I kicked myself out of bed, and I, had my workout clothes already laid out, because ain't nobody got time for that in the morning. Like, you're barely awake. So grabbed my workout clothes. I mean, I know it looks like I'm in my frumpy sweater, but I do have workout clothes under it. Because it's been a little chilly out here lately. So I went to go make my protein shake. I mixed it up. I made sure I have 30 grams in there. I got my collagen in, my regular protein in. Collagen makes you stay young. Regular protein is for your muscles and all. So I mixed that up, and it's 30 grams. It's like a little bit over. I think it's like 34. I measured it last night to count everything last night. I did all my macro counting last night. If you're not into macros, neither am I. I just started doing this. But I counted up for the day, my carbs, my proteins, and my fats, because I'm at a point now where I've plateaued, and I've got to figure out what's going on, and I've got to fix this. So if it requires science, have at it with science, right? So the protein is going to help me in the morning so that my body is not feeling stressed. Because if your body is feeling stressed, you probably have high cortisol, and then you're going to hold on and retain belly fat. And I specifically have belly fat to lose. I specifically feel fine about myself in general, but I'm like, what is this like? What is that? And we have to get rid of it. You cannot stay with me. Hi, Adele. Welcome. So yeah, be sure to like the stream really quick. I'm like, okay, so I think the cortisol is making me hold on to the fat in my belly. And that's the exact part that I want to get rid of. So if I drink the protein shake in the morning, don't forget, like the stream really quick, subscribe. If I get rid of if I drink the protein shake in the morning, it'll settle my body. My body won't be like, wait, you're starving me. Wait, because I was intermittent fasting in the morning till noon and getting the 2-hour walk in. So a 2-hour walk on a fasted state, my body is like, when are you going to feed me? What are you doing? I'm stressed out. Now, I didn't think I was stressed out, but I was. My body was stressing out. And according to the research I did, it means my cortisol level was going up, and it will retain belly fat. So if I'm like over here thinking, by the way, I'm not really a spot reduce type of girl. Like, that's not normally something that I would like try to do. But if that's my problem area, and I know cortisol increases belly fat, and I know that I'm intermittent fasting, stressing my body out, probably going too hard, according to what the experts say. Literally, there's like a bruise on my foot for doing so much cardio. I was like, ooh, that's special. So I'm like, okay, I need to reevaluate the science of what I'm doing and just actually think, what does science say? And so they said, try this. So I'm like, wait, there's nothing for me to lose. Technically, the way I feel like this is a little break. Waking up, doing 30 minutes of walking after I did like 30 minutes of protein shake. So within 30 minutes of waking up, we'll say it again, take the protein shake, 30 grams, within 30 minutes of waking up, and then you do 30 minutes of walking. That's going to help my body not feel like I'm starving, struggling, and stressed. So if I can just get my cortisol to come down, all the efforts that I'm doing will immediately snap in, and I'll come out of my plateau. So I needed to just go less, not go so hard, go less. So I guess I've entered a season where, 10 years ago, if I went hard, my body would, by now, I would have been at goal. But I realized, I'm like, what is the stubborn belly fat about? And it's got to go. It's got to go in Jesus' name. So I just did my research, and I'm going to try this thing. I've never tried it in my life. Never. And I've been able to lose weight throughout my life whenever I want. So, but I've never had a plateau like this. So we have to try something new. So I just was going to take you guys along the journey for my something new and let y'all know how it goes. So, this is not day one of my fitness, but it's day one of this 30-30-30 method. This is my belly. I know. Transparent moment. That's my belly. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not mine. I don't know how to describe it. It's not bad. I'm not, oh my gosh. It's just like, that's usually my belly be flat by now. And I don't know. I look pregnant, but I'm not. But I look pregnant. I do. I look like 4 months pregnant or something. That's a new thing. By now, I would not have that. So I don't know what that is, but we have to get rid of it. And so I'm going to try this method. I'm going to try to not do so much cardio. I'm going to try to get more protein. I just hit protein goals yesterday. So the whole idea is you can't be trying to do all this and not be hitting protein goals. Everything has to go together. Yeah, I need to go to sleep better at night. I need to get protein goals. So I've hit protein goals already. I need to be, about my business with my exercise. I've already, consistently been about my exercise for the last 3 months. So all I need to do now is do less and eat protein first thing in the morning and get out of the intermittent fasting. So it's almost scary for me. I was researching yesterday and I was like, quitting intermittent fasting, really? That is so frightening. It's always worked. It has always worked. The fact that it's not working is troubling. The fact that I have to change up my method is really, I'm like, oh gosh, I hope I don't go the wrong way. So let's see what happens. Like, my body is a delicate, it gets a little delicate. I'm not going to call it fragile. It's not. It's delicate. So we're trying something new. You guys are going to be around for the journey here and there. If it works, then I will be talking about this. When I go live regularly, I will be talking. If it works, then I'm going to be talking about this. If it doesn't work, then I'll be like, meh. You know, I gave myself a break from going so hard with the workouts, and, you know, fitness wise, at least you got your protein in. Like, it's not going to kill me to get protein in. And I'm not suffering in the morning on intermittent fasting until noon, because let's be honest, y'all, there is some suffering involved in that. So that's the deal. We're on Project Cortisol Belly. We're going to try to get rid of this thing, and we're going to see how long it takes. And I have no clue how long it's supposed to take, by the way. Just because it says it's supposed to work, I don't know if it's supposed to work in 6 months, in 2 months, or what. I just know that the cortisol belly has to go, and I'm working on it from a place of my body is probably overstressed and it needs something to change. So cortisol belly for today. A little hard to see with the sweater, but for me, I can tell that it's there. You might be like, oh, I don't see anything. But yeah, I mean, I've got a sweater on. A good frumpy sweater covers up everything, y'all. So it's been chilly in the morning. Today it's actually not chilly. It's just fine. But it actually has been chilly in the morning. School's already started for the kiddos out here. So I've been needing like a little bit of a sweater early. And it was just blazing hot, sunny just a week or so ago. Be sure to like the stream really quick. And I'll take you guys on my journey. I'll let you know. How is it going? If it works, then I will literally be talking about this for probably the rest of my life. If it doesn't work, then I'll still be me and be cute, whatever. All right, there's a wild dog outside. Let me go fight the wild animals. Catch you guys later. Or you guys want to see the wild animal so that I can record it? Like, how come people don't take care of their pets, huh? Do you see this? Do you see this dog in the middle of the street? There's a dog in the middle of the street just staring at me. Like, who do you belong to, dog? At the end of the day, y'all, dogs are not really my friend. Go. Why can't you be a cat? Cats are lovely. Who's a cat person? Pop it in the chat. Do you guys see that dog? And it's right in front of my house. Like, I need to get in the house and go back to work now. I know he's someone's pet because he's got these little floppy ears. He's got floppy ears, and he seems to be like, look at me. I'm having to walk in the grass because of this dog. Not the plan, y'all. Absolutely not the plan. Messing up my shoes because of the dog. Well, I also don't want to get bit by a dog today. I mean, he is a stray. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't have time for like the ER this morning. Let's be honest. Okay, messing up my shoes. That is like my biggest pet peeve, is to mess up a white pair of sneakers. Okay, so we're done. I wanted to just let you guys know dog is now behind us. Do you guys see that? Messing up my whole morning walk. So yeah, back to what I was saying. We're gonna try the 30-30-30 method. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's useful, but I will report back to the channel on if it works, if I feel like it's making me lose my cortisol belly. I feel like I'm not really generally into spot reducing. That's not really my thing, but we have to do something with the cortisol belly. We got to get rid of it. And we're going to try the science, which says my body was working out too much, that intermittent fasting was stressing out my body and probably increasing my cortisol. So we're going to try it. We'll see how it goes. Talk to you guys later. Bye.